Okay, so I found a few things out about the outline that might be helpful. So let's go ahead and create quickly the outline. I'm going to use Suzanne the monkey here. We will throw a color in, and we'll use kind of that teal color that you're using for your walls. It should pop. We got to go up and make our viewport shading. Okay, so we can see that here. So in order to, so this is a starting point. To add the outline, of course, you can click plus and new, change this to black. I'm going to come up because later it'll be nice and handy for this one to be called like outliner. So I'm going to make that material the outliner. The outliner, you have to scroll down and click backface culling in order to get it to work with the solidify modifier. So now, and you've set this up before, you're more of an expert at it than I am, but if you go in solidify, select your negative 0.0, I don't know, 5, normals, we flip the normals, and this materials here, if I click 1, you can see the black outline form, and we can increase the thickness to give it a little bit more of a cartoony look. Okay, so we got our black outline, and what's happening here really is if you go back, this material offset is the distance between material and outliner. Like if I had another material here, let's just make another material so you can see it. Okay. So if I had red here, if I went back to my solidify modifier and I clicked 2, it's going to material offset to 2, which is red. And I don't have backface culling on, so it just turns the entire thing red. Whereas if I'm at 1, I've got black with backface culling turned on, and so it outlines it. In fact, let me test something real quick. Let's go back here to red. Let's go down to backface culling, and let's go back to the solidify modifier and see if we can make a red outline. There we go. So you can see it's the red outline. What's happening is it's basically sort of inverse solidifying, which leaves a little gap, and then we're telling it to assign that color to the gap. And so that's what creates the those outlines. Okay. So you can have outlines of different colors, but in this case, we want ours to be black. So I'm going to go back to this. So the other thing I found out, so the material offset, that's what's happening there, is that it's really the distance between your primary color and your outliner. So that sort of has implications of what you can and can't do with this technique, but there's some easier workflows. Like if you want to change the color, so first off, if you create a mesh, let me just choose something else like that's got some geometry, like an icosphere. If I want to move this over, if I select this guy first, it's got the bright orange, it's the active, and then I shift select what has some stuff I want to copy over, I can shift select, and then when I hit Control L, I showed before that you could link your materials, true, but notice the black outline doesn't show up. However, if I come back over, hit Control L, and choose copy modifiers, you can see that the modifier pops on, and I get that modifier. And if I come in here, you can see that all the materials have been copied over, and all of the and the modifier has been copied over with the exact same settings. You can still come in and tweak the modifier in here. So if you wanted a thicker line here, you can increase the thickness. If you wanted to quickly create something that has a different color, let me just choose another icosphere and move it over here. One possibility would be to do this. Let's say I want to copy the modifier over. So I can shift select, this is my active object, Control L, and copy the modifier over. But I don't have any materials on here, right? But so the materials aren't here. But one of the things I can do here is I can create a new base material. So let's say I want this to be like purplish, okay? But I want my outliner, but I don't need to create another outliner. I have another outliner. I can click plus to create a slot here, and if I use this drop down, you can see all the materials we've created. That's all the crayons in our crayon box, and outliner's there. So I can just click outliner, and you can see it's added that black outline here, and now I have an object that's got a different color, and all I had to do was add a slot and slot in outliner in order to get that. So that might be a better workflow for you in terms of doing the outline with your house. So if you want your house to have that, hopefully that's helpful for you in terms of a workflow. All right, I'm going to go back and take a look at weight painting and see if I can't find out how we can get that fixed.